Likkutei Torah, Drushim Rosh Hashana, page Nun Zayin. We'll start again from the beginning of Daled. First few lines we learned already. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is explaining what the inyan of Shofar is. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is explaining what the inyan of Shofar is. That it's to be ma'edem milmata l'mayla, this revelation higher than einig, which stimulates milmayla l'mata, the level of einig. So he says, mi'ata yivor lament ki Shofar derech Shabbos. Okay, these first lines we learned. Now we can understand why Shofar doesn't push off Shabbos. V'hu ki inyan Shabbos masha kiva Hashem rested. Echol hashmai v'aretz v'chala k'meyim hashvi. Kamei al derech Moshe, like the Moshe ba'adam share v'sinach meizim malachas aveda. When a person rests from a certain level of aveda, shayasich limach shaftim lubeshes beisim malacha, that the person's mind and energy dealt with this work, to look into it, b'chol prat yam malacha b'schakmas, therefore k'shasheves azay misala seichel. Then the seichel goes back up, and goes back to its source, and then okay, so bottom line is, work is your energy goes into the thing, you rest, the energy comes back. That's the union of resting. So this is where we're up to now. Then, after you rest, that's when you get the ultimate pleasure of the work that you did. Therefore, when you finish a tractate of Gemara, you make a siyum with a party. From the enjoyment and the pleasure you have from the fact that you finished the tractate. So he says like this, just like down here, the concept of rest is you put energy in, now you try to get it back to where it belongs. So it is in the 6 days of creation, spiritually speaking. Now obviously Hashem didn't work, and he didn't work hard, and he needs to take a vacation and all that. What does it mean though? So you read, it was the descent and coming down of the midas of from above. And then it came into the level of chesed. In other words, like this, what happened in the 6 days of creation? We know that the 6 days of creation were created with the 6 midas, and Shabbos is the level of malchus. Shabbos malchus. So the first day was the revelation of chesed, Hashem created Or. Second day was the revelation of Gvura, Hashem created the heaven that split. Yom Beis Yirakia Midas HaGvura. So every day of the week, not Chas V'Shem, Hashem worked, right? But every day, the first day, the level of Malchut, Chesed, came down low into this world to create it. And then it came Shabbos, Hashem rested on the 7th day. Hashem rested from revealing the Midas into the world. And then the Midas came back to the essence of Hashem. And then Vayichal simply means he finished. But Chassidus interprets it Vayichal miloshin kol sanafshi kloisa nefesh, the longing of the soul. Pirush shenim shebechinas hatayna galyin, the highest level of tainug umizgala b'chol asher poal, that Hashem revealed the level of tainug into everything he made. So in other words, like this, just like a person works, rests and then gets the enjoyment of what he did, because when you're still dead tired, you don't enjoy it yet. You work, your energy goes into the thing, you lower your energy into the object that you're building, whatever, and then you get it back, and then you get enjoyment. Hashem during the week lowered his midas into the level of creation, and then on Shabbos Hashem stopped, meaning he stopped lowering that level of midas coming down into creation, and then he had the level of tainug. Vayichal Elokim, the lashon of tainug, longing Shabbos is the level of Tainuk. And therefore it's interesting. Officially, Yom Tif is Zman Simchaseinu, Simcha. Samachta b'chagecha. Shabbos is not Simcha. Shabbos, the pasuk says, "V'korasa la Shabbos einig." We say it in Shmon Esrei on Shabbos. Einig means pleasure. Simcha is from something. Einig is just internal. So Shabbos, he says, is the level of einig. Or kamesha calls, like it says, "V'nei teiv ma'ed." V'gimel pamar b'yem hashvi. And the 3 times it says in Vayichul Hashmayim v'Haaretz, it says 3 times b'yem hashvi. V'chalakim b'yem hashvi. 3 times it says b'yem hashvi, which is a level of 3 levels of tainuk. Shamislabish bahem bina haydisaid, whatever. So these are the 3 levels of tainuk that reveal itself in Shabbos.
Because it goes back to the source.
Correct. That's what it says in Arizal. Shabbos is the gilim beichan da'aba, is the level of gilui of chokhmah. Ki keidesh ilochem. The tainug that comes into the world on Shabbos dresses itself into the level of chokhmah. Therefore, it's called Eidem Ekosiv. When a person gets a brainstorm that he's excited about, he has enjoyment. Okay, therefore the pasuk says, okay, therefore what is Shabbos? You're not allowed to do your regular things. You shouldn't do your you shouldn't even be speaking. The Gemara says, "Bekushi hitiru ledaber divrei Torah b'Shabbos." With great difficulty, the Chachamim permitted to speak Torah. In other words, really, Torah says you shouldn't be allowed to speak on Shabbos at all. If you think about it, it's very logical. What happened? 6 days Hashem created, stopped creating on the 7th. How did Hashem create? Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim, Vayomer Elokim. Hashem created with speech. So what happened on Shabbos? Hashem Kaviyachol stopped speaking. So on Shabbos, technically we shouldn't be allowed to speak. Telling this to people in Shul on Shabbos doesn't help. I'm still talking about little davening.
Try to be frugal and talking.
That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch. You're not allowed to talk weekday things. It's a pasuk. It's a pasuk in Yeshaya. You're not supposed to speak. You're not allowed to speak anything that doesn't have to do with Shabbos. Technically. So what?
It's a time of joy, though.
Simcha and more so tainuk, einig.
Orange, yeah. Also, the orange has to come from within without
Correct.
engagement.
Correct. Okay, Shavas. Nimshel mitzad atmi, that on Shabbos itself is the Gilui Tainik El Yishim Misani Mikol Asher Osa Meila Eina Nitzrich L'Shofar. What did the Alter Rebbe explain before the whole bunch of the past pages? What is the level of Shofar? Shofar is the Gilui Milmata L'Maila that awakens the level of Tainug for Hashem to want to be king. So what Shofar awakened? The Tainug of Hashem. That's what Shabbos is. Shabbos is the level of the Shabbos Einik. Hashem reveals the level of Einik. So therefore you don't need that level of Tainug of Shofar and Shabbos. Besides the simple meaning that Shofar is to awaken Tshuva, Shabbos itself, Shin Beis Sof, is the letters Toshev. But here the Alter Rebbe is explaining, Chassidus in Kabbalah, why don't you blow Shofar on Shabbos? Because Shabbos accomplishes what Shofar does.
So why are they coming with these? If somebody carries...
No, that's the simple reason why the Chazal said it. Simple reason Chazal said, why are you not allowed to blow Shabbos? Because like the Gemara was called Gzeira that Rabbi said, everybody's obligated to hear Shofar. Not everybody knows the laws of Shofar. We're afraid he's going to go carry the shofar to somebody to learn how to blow, right? So we're afraid he's going to get. So Chassidus asks, for a few illiterate people, you take away the whole mitzvah of shofar in the greatness And the sanctity of Shofar you can take away because a few illiterates might carry. And the same thing, by the way, is with Lulav and Esrog. What Shabbos, what Lulav accomplished, Shabbos accomplishes. What's interesting though, when Pesach falls out on Shabbos, we do eat matzah. So the question is, the Rishonim ask us, not the Gemara, but the Rishonim ask, but Siddur says that also. So the question is, so why do we eat matzah and Pesach? We should also be afraid maybe you're going to carry the matzah. So the answer is, Al Pi Chassidus, because Shabbos doesn't accomplish what matzah does. And therefore Shabbos you need to eat matzah. But like we said, this is a proof that Cholent is greater than Shofar. Because in Shabbos falls out Rosh Hashana, you don't blow Shofar, but you eat Cholent. I mean, Cholent is greater than Shofar. What? What do you think?
Should be, it doesn't take too much seichel to know how to eat matzah. Just eat it.
And lulav, what does it take lulav? Matzah probably has more dinim than lulav does. In the kashrus of the matzah, the flour and the water, the dinim of the flour, dinim of the water.
The assumption is you have matzah in your hand.
Okay.
And then
But it might still carry it.
to ask how to eat this.
Yeah, how much do I need to eat? Whatever.
You don't need to might carry the matzah to ask questions about it.
You might carry it you invite it to the Seder by somebody else, you might carry it. On the contrary, it's more prone that because you invited out Pesach, you're going to carry the matzah, which is even worse. Okay, anyway. So he says, now the Valkei Nidchem, it says, Shel Shofar b'Shabbos. Okay. Ach lahoven. But now we need to understand like this. So we're saying Shabbos accomplishes what Shofar does. But the question is, so why minatayda do you need Shofar on Shabbos? Biblically, you're supposed to blow Shofar on Shabbos. The Chacham came along and said no. But if we're saying the reason why no is because Shabbos accomplishes what Shofar does, so then why biblically are you obligated to blow Shofar? Then the Torah should have said on Shabbos you don't blow Shofar. So he says, it's a mitzvah, an obligation to blow on Shabbos. So why biblically is there a mitzvah to blow shofar? If Shabbos accomplishes shofar, right? Why minatayda do you blow on Shabbos? Because like we learned, we're discussing the other day. So why in the Beis Hamikdash should they blow? Because there's different levels of shofar. Meaning what Alter Rebbe is saying now, there's different levels of enjoyment. Tainug, Mumayla. So on a regular place, a regular Shabbos accomplishes what shofar does. But there's the higher levels of shofar, the shofar in the Beis Hamikdash, the biblical level of shofar. That Shabbos doesn't accomplish. No, that's Mashiach. Then Kesvetach, the Yosef, Mashiach calls Beit Chaim, of Seder Yishtaushes, Sheina Masker, Kim Ketipa Min Hayam. That Rabbi Chaim Vital writes in the Agdam of the Yitzchak, again, the Arizal, it says, wasn't shaykh to write. The Arizal didn't write anything. The Arizal spoke. And his students, the primary students of Rabbi Chaim Vital, he was the one that wrote all the Kabbalah that we have from the Arizal. We see in Gashmis also, Shatainik Shebenefesh, who b'yaseh says v'yaseh ribi madregs mishar keiches nefesh. In the level of enjoyment, there's many more details in levels of enjoyment than there is in any other level of midas. Like chesed, you may have a few different types of chesed. But tainuk, there's everything that you have different pleasure from this, and you can have a, rating from 1 to 10. What is your tainuk of this and this and this and this? Like we see, there's infinite amount of pleasures. In other words, number one, there's many enjoyments of taste. Like it said, you can enjoy different foods. You can enjoy chicken, you can enjoy meat, you can enjoy dairy, you can enjoy parve, you can enjoy, and every level you enjoy is a different level of tainuk. And each taste is different. That means the level of pleasure is different between each one. The same thing in smell. You can have a lot of different smells, but they're all different smells. If they're different smells, they're different pleasures.
And this pleasure.
Correct. The same thing. Or like you enjoy literature or language or whatever it may be. I feel even in a joke, you can enjoy different levels of enjoyment. That's if they get the joke. Let's not talk about. We have to give a class in the shul how to understand the joke. How much more so in keiches ruchniim, in spiritual things like seichel. Some people have enjoyment from learning science. Some people might have from medicine. Some people might have from whatever, from Torah. You have infinite different levels of enjoyment.
Tragedy.
Enjoyment of tragedy? Yeah.
They enjoy reading tragedy.
Yeah. Some people enjoy being depressed.
Contempt.
Yeah. You can understand the infinite level of tainug in alukus. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining now, Shofar accomplishes tainug. Shabbos accomplishes tainug. Nevertheless, biblically you have to blow shofar. In the Beis Hamikdash they blew shofar. Why? Because there's different levels of tainug. There's one level that Shabbos accomplishes, there's a level that shofar accomplishes, and different levels of shofar accomplish different levels of tainug. Some Shabbos accomplish, and some Shabbos doesn't accomplish. K'nei, as it's known, the chlol is satanic shebinyonim dahayalma. Even all the pleasures of this world is pselis v'tamsis the tamsis, is the sediment and the offshoot of spiritual tainugim. In other words, let's say there's a billion physical pleasures, it's only a slight junk compared to the spiritual tainug. Because in Ruchnis you have infinite levels. Rabbi Kiva laughed, right, when they saw the fox roll out of the Beis Hamikdash, whatever. And he said, so he said, Valach as kama v'kama, l'mok tainug in the source of tainug. Shebavade rava kamas v'echos leinkes v'tachos. In the source of tainug, there's definitely infinite levels of pleasure, qualitatively, quantitatively. B'yaseh mikol hayutzvir shel ma'ala dochash tainug shebenefesh. God Almighty is very great. V'dav keicha yaseh mikol keichas hanefesh. Okay, so therefore the Alter Rebbe is explaining. Shofar causes tainug. Why biblically do you have to blow shofar on Shabbos? Because he said there's different levels of tainug. Some Shabbos cause, some shofar cause. Some shofar doesn't cause, but shofar cause. It's called arich anpin. Okay? The source of tainug is arich, the lower level of keser. Okay, but the midas of Atzilus, the 6 spheres of Atzilus, are called Ze'er Ampin. Kabbalistically, it's like this. You have Seichel, and then you have the 6 spheres, that's called Ze'er Ampin. Ze'er Ampin means a short face. The lower level of Keser, which is higher than Chochmah, is called Arich Ampin. Arich Ampin means a long face. Now, why in Zohar and Kabbalah is Kesed called the long face and the 6 spheres of Atzilus are called the short face? Face means revelation, right?
What does the short connotes here?
Oh, so he's saying there's a higher level of revelation. That's the level long face. Kesed, which is a higher level, is called long face, meaning long, big, qualitatively, in quantity and quality. It's a revelation, a greater revelation. The 6 spheres of Atzilus, they are limited in 6 spheres. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. So that is called the Ampin. Short face. B'chinas Kitzer B'atzim Mitziyusam. V'al Moshe, Mimida Shebalev Adam for the Midas in a person, Ava v'yir love and fear, by a person. Shem Koiches Mitzum Tzamim V'ktzarim B'atzim Mitziyusam. Love and fear is much more restricted than Tainug is. And this level of Tainug that we learned comes through Shofar, that you awaken in the source of Tainug, that Hashem should have Tainug, the Bechinas Muvdelis, is separated from the Tainug Amer B'Shabbos. Shemisanig Machmas Vayar Lakim Es Kol Asher So V'nei Torah. Shofar is one level of Tainug. Shabbos is a different level of Tainug. Ki Tainug Animshach B'Shabbos Hum Hashem Mislabish B'Chochma D'Atzilus. Like it says in Shmartim, it says Shabbos Ki Kedeshi, and Chochma is Mislabish Chesed D'Avarich Rampen Ki Yedua. Okay, whatever. Kavayidei HaShofar Nimshach B'Chinas Bina. Of Arich Ampin Shel, which is higher than the Ereg of Tainug of Zayin Tachtenim of Arich. In other words, he's saying like this. One's level of Chachma, one's level of Bina, they're different Tainugim, without getting into all the Kabbalistic stuff here.
Isn't it pity that we don't do, there's so much pleasure associated with Shofar, and then yet we don't blow the Shabbat?
Because Shabbos accomplishes it.
The more the merrier, it's augmented.
In other words, he's saying Shabbos itself, Shofar itself, and this is what the Alter Rebbe is saying here. Shofar itself is higher than Shabbos. One second. Lochein gam b'Shabbos mitzvah l'tkem medivrei Torah, because it brings down a higher level of Tainug, even higher than the level of Shabbos canal. Shofar. Okay, so continue the next page, 4 lines in the top. In other words, he says like this. Min HaTorah, you have to blow Shofar. Why? Because Shofar accomplishes a deeper level of Tainug than Shabbos does. So really, Shabbos, Shofar. The Chachamim came along and said, you don't do it. Well, he's explaining why now. Okay, he's going to explain that when did this Gzeira come? He's going to explain in the next lesson, we're not there yet though. He's going to explain when did the Gzeira come of, most of the rabbinic decrees that Chum said you're not allowed to do things was in the second Beis HaMikdash. In the first Beis HaMikdash, there were not that many decrees of the Chum. Why? Who made all the Gzeiras Chacham? Nanchi Knesset Hagdolah. The men of the Great Assembly. They lived at the beginning of the second Beis HaMikdash. Ezra, Nehemiah, all that. Like for instance, Muktzah, right? Moving thing. When was that instituted? Days of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was the beginning of the second Beis HaMikdash. Because then the people were much slower. Like we learned in the other Maamarim, in the first Beis HaMikdash, they didn't say Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Olam right in Shema. They said Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad V'Ahavta Hashem Elokecha. Because like it says in Chumash. Because they were at a much greater level in the Shamas, they were able to go straight from Echad to the Ahavta.
So the level of time changed?
The level of time that we're able to bring down changed. And therefore the level of time we could bring down now, Shabbos accomplishes. In other words, essentially, the level of Tainug of Shofar is greater than Shabbos. But that's when they did it. When we do it, it's not the same.
Therefore, the Chachamim said that Shabbat.
According to Kabbalah, it's explained why. I'll give you an example. Biblically, you can eat chicken in milk. Biblically, you're allowed to eat chicken and milk. The Chachamim came along and forbid it. Now, spiritually, what does that mean? It means like this. Until the Chum said no, It didn't start from Moshe Rabbeinu and Har Sinai. That means initially the Jews would eat chicken and milk. Which means spiritually as follows. Something that you're allowed to eat means you could elevate it. Something you're not allowed to eat because you can't elevate it. The earlier generations, they were much greater people, the greater neshamas. They were able to elevate chicken and milk. Therefore, they're allowed to eat it. As generations went downward, so then the people were not great enough to elevate chicken and milk. So therefore, the Chacham said, you can't elevate it, it's forbidden.
In Iran,
Simply in halacha you learn because people will mix it up. So if they'll mix it up, so therefore, the answer is because now we don't have the ability to do it. Now we don't have the ability in our shofar to do what they did earlier.
It's asur.
So therefore it's asur. Because you can't elevate it, so it becomes asur. Not only that, take it even by shofar. Because you're not allowed to blow shofar rabbinically on Shabbos, shofar is muktzah on Shabbos. It's more muktzah on Shabbos Rosh Hashana than Shabbos during the year.
Muktzah is a muktzah. What is more or less? It's a muktzah.
There's different levels of muktzah.
Because it's a favorite.
During the year, it's kelish malachte le'eser. So therefore you can move it. You need the plates, you need to do something permissible. Shabbos Rosh Hashanah is completely muktzah. You can blow it. The answer is, now that we can't, so now we're not allowed to even move it. That's the... Okay, but we didn't get there yet. Okay, Kesser is the intermediary between Hashem and creation. Now, any intermediary that connects two things has to have a level of both. Like in a chain link, right? Now, the middle link has a little bit in the top and a little bit in the bottom, right? Because anytime you connect two things, it has to connect it by being connected to both. If you don't have them both, you can't connect it. It has a lower level of elukut, which is atik, and sherish netzolim. God love my losa. Al beis bechinas shebei. Bechinas beis shebei, which is sherish netzolim. Atik, the two levels of Kesser, right? Now, if Kesser connects Hashem with world, so therefore Kesser has a level of God and a level of world. Now that level of God, which is called Atik Yomin, Atik Yomin, is by the way, Atik means removed. Atik means Maitikodim.
Relocate.
Yeah, but Yomin, Atik Yomin are the Sfidas. So Atik Yomin is a level which is completely removed from the Sfidas. Arich Ampin means a long face. That means you're revealing. Face represents, but it's not the short face of Atzilus, it's the long face of Kesser. But it's still, that's connected to Midas. Which is Arich Ampin, which is Tachtene Sheba Maitzel. Okay, so he's saying bottom line is, so Shofar reveals Atik. Okay, so therefore, biblically, you have to blow shofar. Because Shabbos accomplishes the external levels. And shofar accomplishes the previous of Tainuk. So therefore, normally, Minatoid, you have to blow shofar on Shabbos. But, as we will continue, we don't.